welcome everybody to a late night TAETRO Talks. Thank you for joining us tonight, this evening. Happy to be here, experimenting. You know, we've been doing like these little pop-up streams here and there at this time, and I thought it would be fun to try doing the talk show at this time. I often do TAETRO Talks like during the day, kind of earlier, and I think it's harder for some people to tune in. So I'll be excited if new people want to call in tonight, have some fun, productive, creative chats. The way I usually like to kind of run the format of this show is I'll talk for a little bit about a topic that's kind of on my mind. Today, it's talking all about the latest NFT scam shadiness that's going on. Very interesting thing and dangerous thing for artists happening. So I'll outline that, give kind of my thoughts on that. And then I'll sort of open it up to the community. So you all can call in. We can talk about any kind of creative topics you want to talk about. If you want to add to this whole NFT topic, that's fine too. But if you want to just talk about your creative process or ask for advice and stuff like that, I'd love to have you on. Please don't call in and ask technical advice like I just bought the Launch Key Mini and I can't get it to do X, Y, and Z. That's not what this is for. This is for more productive, creative conversations that can sort of serve the entire community. So thank you all for being here. I see Taylor, I see Bishop, 77 Social, thank you as well. It's Mario. It's me, Mario. I get that name now. Mr. G. Smith, Hail Nomad, hello. Rashane is here as well. Some people before that. Damn South, Bradley. Bradley hit it on the head. Bradley hit it on the head. And Fia is here. Fia, haven't seen you in a long time, so thank you. We're streaming in partnership with 343 Labs today. TAETRO Talks is sort of like always in partnership with 343 Labs, which is an electronic music production school based in New York, Berlin, and online. If you want to check out like some of the courses, and there's some really new stuff, cool new stuff coming from 343 Labs, a new something, I'll say, coming in a couple weeks. So stay tuned for that. 343labs.com, the link's in the description. But more importantly, if you all want to participate in an upcoming sample challenge that's totally free to participate in, I would love to have you. That will be also in collaboration with 343 Labs. And I can show you the sample that you can flip if you head right over to the 343 Labs Discord, which I know some of you are already members of. But if we check this out really quick, let me pause my background music. So this upcoming sample challenge, which will take place next Tuesday, I'll be joined by John Selway, techno legend. And he actually provided a sample right here. Not many of you participate in these sample challenges, so this should be fun. Completely free to enter. Also, the 343 Labs Discord is completely free to join as well. Taylor says the music, there you go. Thank you. Yeah, so this sample was provided by none other than John Selway himself. Some people are already posting submissions. As you can see, it's still a little early, so get your submissions in before Tuesday. We had a really great sample challenge last month. We gave away a whole course, music production course. So me and John Selway will be judging that. So this is a lot of room here for creativity if you want to go resample this and flip it, turn it into your own thing. So check that out. That's happening over on the 343 Labs Discord. If you're not in that yet, should I spam that link really quick in chat? Invite people. I know how to do this. This link will expire anyway. Let me spam that a bunch. What's this stream? Hello, Dominic. Welcome to TAETRO Talks. We're going to chat about some stuff today. Like I said earlier, people can call into the show if you do feel like it. That would be a lot of fun. I just want to give one more quick shout out before we really start the show, which, by the way, the link to call into the show is pinned to the top of the chat. So if you do feel like calling in tonight, you can click that link and you'll be put into a waiting room. So it's not like you're going to immediately be put on a stream, and the stream is audio only. So don't feel too worried about, don't feel too self-conscious or something like that. I want to throw it out there too that we just launched our first TAETRO community Spotify playlist called the Lo-Fi Loft. The first batch of tracks are in there now. So if you want a new lo-fi chill playlist to listen to, I just dropped that link in the chat. Check that out. And if you want to become a Discord member, you can submit to that too. But yeah, we have a really good, We have a really good Discord community in the TAETRO community as well that you can join by becoming a member, hitting the join button at the bottom of my stream. But really excited about this new playlist. We're really excited for it to grow. More and more people will submit as time goes on, and you all are doing a great job. So nice job. If you want to throw on some lo-fi tunes, why not throw on this playlist? Because it's people that we're all connected to. All right, that's enough table setting for now. Think of this as a live rant. And the thing about this is I already recorded a rant on this topic, but I figured doing this live would actually be a lot of fun. And being able to include some members of the community might also be fun. I already see a couple people in the waiting room, so thank you for being in the waiting room. We're going to take calls in probably about maybe 10 minutes after like this initial rant. So like I said, feel free to click the link at the top, jump in the waiting room. Be patient. If I don't get to you right away, don't worry. It's okay. SDK, what's good? Good to have you here. All right. The topic for today. So NFTs, we're not talking about NFTs in general. We're going to talk about a very particularly toxic platform that emerged over the past few days. But just to give a brief, very cursory look at what NFTs are for those who are new. Essentially, NFTs can function in a couple different ways. They can almost function as a currency, but it can be a way of selling digital art or digital something, and it gets linked on the blockchain. So essentially, you can create scarcity and have a one-of-one piece of art digitally. Allegedly. That piece of art existing on the blockchain, only one person can own that, or only a limited people, however many you make or mint, could own it. So it's like, imagine in real life, you have paintings. If an artist paints a painting and it's a one-of-one and you can prove its authenticity, NFTs are that, but for the digital space. And there are other functions for them. But right now, they're essentially functioning as like digital trading cards. You know, if you bought a Michael Jordan rookie card before Michael Jordan was anything famous at all, that rookie card became worth a lot of money years later and today. Think of NFTs kind of like that, but in a digital space. That is a very, very, very oversimplified thing of that. They're on the blockchain, like I said, which means they require cryptocurrency to purchase, usually Ethereum, which is like your average, which is like a Bitcoin, but it's just another type of currency. It's like euros, dollars, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. A lot of times they can be very expensive. Many people have heard the famous case of Beeple selling, an NFT for $69 million or something like that, making lots of money. Some artists are making lots of money. Some artists are not making lots of money. And overall, my quick take on it is, well, if a digital artist can find a way to make a living in this world of people where a digital art piece you could see online, you could just save it, you could never engage with the artist's work, you could never have to support the artist to engage with their work. And in a lot of ways, music is like that too. You can engage with any of my music without ever paying $1. You can engage with any of my videos without ever paying $1. So if NFTs provide a space or a mechanism for people to support artists in this new way, in this new digital way, that sounds like a good thing. But of course, there's a darker element to this here, because it is very speculative. It is very volatile. The cryptocurrencies themselves are speculative and volatile, even though, like, if you look at them over a great amount of time, many of them have grown and grown and grown. Many people have started their own currencies, which have turned out to just be outright scams. They end up not being worth anything, called like shit coins. What's up, Amelia? Amelia, isn't it too late for you to be here? Go to bed. Drummy Geo, what's good? Thank you for being here. So those are the currencies themselves. And then there's the artwork. Many of you have probably seen people on Twitter or wherever with avatars that are like these cartoon apes that sort of look like they just ripped off the gorillas. Those are called the Bored Apes, Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? People are paying enormous amounts of money to have those Bored Ape art pieces. Sometimes it goes up in value. So if you buy a Bored Ape and everybody's hyped about the Bored Apes and you can sell it for profit, that's fantastic. But what you can imagine is this is often turning into a game of hot potato. You don't want to be the last one holding the bag, right? So when it's all hype and people are super excited about something, something's worth a lot of money. And when people get to be not so hyped about it, if you're the last one who bought it at a pretty high price, you're going to be left holding the bag when it's only worth half of what you paid for it, a third of what you paid for it, 1/5 of what you paid for it. That's a very tertiary, cursory look at what's going on. Midnight East Coast stream, that's right, Jimmy Gio. And I don't want to talk about just NFTs in general. I want to talk about this very specific platform that emerged the other day called HitPiece. Let's talk about HitPiece. What the heck is HitPiece? Well, here's their Instagram. I would show you their website. However, they received so much backlash, my friends. So much backlash that now when you visit their website, it just says, we started the conversation and we're listening. And I'm going to get into what caused that backlash and what caused some of this to happen. I will also make note, and this will become relevant later, that if we go to this website, gethitpiece.com, you will see that they are already building something new, and we'll talk about why they have two URLs, or likely why, I don't know. A lot of this will be speculation. A lot of this will be allegedly. I don't know all of the facts behind it. I'm obviously not on the team, but I've seen a lot of speculation and a lot of evidence on the internet that there's something going on here. All right, so what's wrong with HitPiece? What is the problem here? What HitPiece is, I'm going to say is, as if it does currently exist, is a platform where you could essentially buy any song or mint any song as an NFT. So I'm going to put a couple examples. I had to pull these screenshots from their Instagram, like a promo video on their Instagram, since their site is currently down, because I saw the site before it went down and I tested it out, typed in TAETRO. Sure enough, all of my music was there with the correct album art, track titles, everything. And then I started noticing there's a lot of big artists on there. You can see Kanye, Life of Pablo. In their own ad, they're searching up Coldplay, which is obviously a huge, huge deal. Started to see things like this. And you know, when they started messing with my girl Lisa, that we had to do something about this. They can't just be messing with Lisa from Blackpink and get away with it. Absolutely not. So imagine this is a website that you go to. You can type in any artist, any song, and it would take that song, if you decided to, and start essentially an auction so that you could own that song as an NFT on HitPiece. I didn't give my music to HitPiece to sell, so this is curious, right? What it does when you want to trigger an auction is if you say, I want to own that song as an NFT, a one-of-one NFT of that song, it essentially triggers an auction. Other people can bid on the song. At the end of that bidding, highest bidder obviously gets to own the song as an NFT. They, of course, did this. It's me and Mario hit it right on the head. But isn't it wrong to sell things you don't own? Exactly. So this is not just a platform like, say, an Audius, which we talked about, which it doesn't work like this. This isn't the same thing. Audius is essentially kind of like a reskinned SoundCloud at the moment that will have some blockchain functionality later on. But artists, like friends of ours in the community, upload their music to Audius and choose for it to be there. Just like if you distribute your music through DistroKid and you tell it to go to Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, wherever, you make that choice and it goes to the stores you want it to go to. What was happening here was very, very, very odd. Because like I said, I typed in my name, I could find my music. You see music from Kanye, you see Coldplay's on there, Lisa from Blackpink. They essentially had just the entire catalog as if you had gone to Spotify. How could this be possible? This is very curious. And let's talk a little bit about how it could actually be possible. Before we talk about just like how this is just wrong and morally corrupt in general. But people on Twitter, we have lots of Twitter sleuths, were on the case. This is Andy Bio on Twitter. I grabbed a screen grab. All their artist/album images are pulled from Spotify's CDN at blah, blah, blah. I don't know what any of that means. Looks like their graphic QL search is just a thin wrapper to the Spotify API. Their artist IDs are all Spotify IDs. So somehow they have access to the Spotify API, and they basically just reskinned Spotify on their site and created a marketplace so that anybody could mint and trigger an auction and own any song as an NFT. Somehow. I might venture to say that Spotify is a pretty big company and likely has a very good tech team, and this shouldn't be that easy to do. So is Spotify indeed complicit in this? This is all alleged, of course, and I'm obviously getting this from a screenshot of a Twitter post, which has a screenshot of a Facebook post, so take it with the largest grain of salt. But it would seem that the founder, Rory Felton, this is kind of like next-gen technology because this is a screen grab and I'm highlighting text. Anyway, Rory Felton, who I believe is the founder of Hitpiece, who after doing some digging, you can also find has a long history in the music industry in general, may indeed have a relationship with Spotify. That's the thing about this industry is everybody knows each other. Got API access, which automatically lists the music as NFTs. Now, we'll get into this. The mechanism is indeed supposed to pay out to artists. Like it's not just outright. There is a mechanism behind Hitpiece that is meant to pay artists. But we'll talk about why it's still not okay in a moment. Supposedly, anytime an NFT is sold, they hold the money for the artist to claim, and if they wish not to sell, they return the money to the consumer. Rory claims they respond swiftly to DMCA requests. We'll talk about DMCA requests in a moment. And then this post also alleges that they were anticipating a bunch of backlash and hoping that lawsuits would get them press. And that they've raised $5 million, of course, because all of these money-hungry tech bros that have too much money already are willing to do anything as fast as possible if it can turn a major profit, regardless of the moral and ethical implications. So on Hitpiece's website, before it went down, it did indeed confirm what I just told you. How do artists earn royalties from Hitpiece? Each time an artist's NFT is purchased or sold, a royalty from each transaction is accounted to the rights holder's account. So, if I go to your house, chat, if I go to any one of your houses and I just take something that probably means a lot to you, a prized family photo, your favorite action figure, your favorite guitar, doesn't matter what it is. Pick the favorite thing you have in your house or your apartment or your bedroom. And I walk into your apartment and don't tell you, I take that thing and I go and sell it on the street. I go out and sell it. And then I come back and you ask me, where's that thing that's not in my apartment anymore? I say, oh, I took it and sold it. Here's 50% of the money. You probably would still be annoyed, at least annoyed, if not angry, if not straight up being able to file charges against me for robbery. Because you did not choose to sell that thing, and that thing could have held more value to you than the actual monetary selling price. Not only that, we didn't agree to terms before I sold it. So I'm saying, here, I'll give you 50% of what I sold it for. Maybe you would have been okay with selling it if I was going to give you 90% or 99%, at which point I would have been like, I'm not going to sell it anyway. The point is here, they didn't have the right to sell this in the first place because nobody gave them permission. The artists are not giving them permission. And in this, at least from their website, the About, it doesn't even say what the royalty is. So I would imagine they would work this like the major streaming companies do, and essentially give higher royalties to bigger name artists and lower royalties to smaller name artists. But essentially, you have no... If I already took your thing and sold it, what bargaining leverage do you have? I already sold it. I already did the thing. If this was a platform that an artist could go to, opt into, choose to sell their music on with either a preset royalty amount that was stated before they started selling, like we all know how shit like Spotify and streaming services pay out for small artists, but we opt into that knowing what it is, even though it is shit. We still opt into it. We know the terms of it before we opt into it. This, it could be 1% royalty. It could be 2%. It doesn't even matter. Even if it's 99%, I didn't agree to that. I didn't agree to have it sold in the first place. So that is the problem. They didn't have permission. Obviously, they were met with a ton of backlash, which brings me back. Well, actually, let's bring up their statement, which they posted on Twitter. Clearly, we have struck a nerve and are very eager to create the ideal experience for music fans. To be clear, artists get paid when digital goods are sold on Hitpiece. To be clear, you didn't have permission to sell it in the first place on Hitpiece. Like all beta products, we are continuing to listen to all user feedback and are committed to evolving the product to fit the needs of the artists, labels, and fans alike. Well, thank God that you launched. You want to call it a beta. If your site is functional, it can functionally do these things. You can't hide behind the fact that you're calling it a beta. If my music is up for sale, and I didn't opt into being involved in your beta, don't hide behind this title as if it gives you some excuse. Because there's one of two things. Well, there's lots of things happening behind the scenes, right? At any point, people behind the scenes, somebody on the team had to have said, do you think it's okay that we're selling things and not getting permission from the people who made the things? Somebody had to say that. And here's the two things that probably happened. They said that and they were fired or they were not given opportunity to grow in the company, most likely. Or they thought that and didn't say it in fear of losing their job. Because the whole, and this is my general issue with this whole NFT situation, not just Hitpiece, NFTs in general. The whole situation is that move so fast, and this is the tech startup bro mentality, move fast and break things. Who was that? Was that Facebook or Google? That was their thing? When the thing you're moving fast and breaking is democracy, artists' livelihood, artists' rights, the rights of people in general, privacy rights, when those are the things that you're breaking, it's suddenly not this big inspirational, motivational mantra that your company should be chanting. And the fact that this is moving so fast, and that seems to be the business model, right? They move so fast, they launch as a beta so that they can sell a few NFTs, make a bunch of profit, and then disappear into the internet as if nothing ever happened when people call them out. That is the danger. And that is why you do not see me involved in any NFT projects at the moment. That could change sometime in the future if things shift and become what I view as ethical, or, conducive to this community, I guess. But why do you see these artists jumping in on this technology that is brand new, that we don't know all of the implications of? The implications that we do know of, especially environmental, are not good because of the sheer power it takes to run these blockchain currencies. Why rush in? Why jump so fast at doing these things that you don't fully understand? One is the attitude that these people think that they are pioneers and visionaries in this space, which Web3 may very well be the future, right? This is all under the umbrella of Web3. We're currently living in Web2, the social media kind of focused web world. But Web3 being a more decentralized, et cetera, they think they're visionaries and pioneers in this space. So if they're quick to move, it's easy for them to say, all you people just don't get it. You're all just skeptical. You were late when the internet first came out. People used to tell me, oh, no one's ever going to subscribe to an email newsletter. Nobody's ever going to watch videos on their computer. And that's what you're doing now with Web3. You just don't get NFTs. You just don't get crypto, blah, blah, blah. I'm a visionary. You're dumb. So that's one motivating factor. They get that ego boost. And the echo chamber of crypto and tech bros and NFT bros is just echoing that. Ayush says early adopters money. That's right, because on some level, if some technology emerges and they are correct, it does become the future. Like if you bought Bitcoin in 2010, you're very rich today, right? Say they really do believe a certain NFT is going to be worth a ton of money in the future, then there's potential huge financial gains. But there's also very short-term financial gains to move fast. The Bored Apes are popular right now, like Beanie Babies were in the 90s. So buy a bunch of Bored Apes cheap, try to flip them for more, get out with a bunch of cash. And then, of course, take that cash and do a shitty startup like HitPiece. So there's a lot of motivating factors, most of which, you guessed it, late stage capitalism strikes again, money. Not art. The motivation is not art. The motivation is not to support these artists, though there are lots of small artists that you see miracle stories making huge money on NFTs. Peace and love to them. My only hope is that they take that money and they go do something awesome with it. That they're basically taking money from the tech bros and like almost like a Robin Hood situation. But these dudes with bored apes as their profile pictures, they're not interested in the art, they're interested in the flex, which is totally different. Michael G says, I've made well over $700 taking a risk on a particular NFT called Pixel Bands and with my production work. Interesting. If you want to call in and tell me about that, Michael G, I would love to hear about it. So that's my little rant today. Thank you all for listening. This will obviously emerge and we'll have more to say about this as it emerges. Oh, I guess the last thing that I'll say is that when this all hit the fan, again, this is pure speculation at the moment. When this all hit the fan, their original website, hitpiece.com, it's very easy to find out where a website is hosted or who the hosting service is. And their site was originally hosted by Amazon Web Services, as many websites are. Hitpiece.com is hosted on Amazon Web Services, or at least it was as of a few days ago. And you can file DMCA claims on websites, especially websites like HitPiece that are just hosting so much copyright content and infringing on that copyright. So it would seem that this message is appearing on this website while they've started a new website, gethitpiece.com, and this is a Google hosted website. So it would seem like they're not just rebuilding here, having started the conversation and listening. It would seem that they got DMCA'd into oblivion and had to find a new website host, which this site looks different than it did yesterday. This had more information on it yesterday, so I don't know if they're going to get DMCA'd again. So stay tuned on that. And my caution to you, my friends, is that if people are coming to you with anything that just smells too good to be true, a get-rich-quick scheme, please come do music for my NFT project. We're going to cut you in. Or if you see your work out there like being used in ways that it shouldn't be, like there's lots of artists that are just having their work minted and they have nothing to do with it, visual artists. And it's so the whole heart of it is decentralization, right? And to some form anonymity, and there's very little regulation at the moment. I think the police are heading to Hitpiece headquarters as we speak. I can't confirm that though. That's alleged. There's so little regulation, which you have to say that government has always been inefficient and bad at regulating many things. But this is the pendulum swinging in the opposite direction, where it really is a wild, wild west. And for a lot of artists who are getting their work stolen, who are getting scammed, consumers that are getting in general scammed on NFTs, there's not a lot of protection for them. So anyway, we're going to take some calls this evening. Thank you for indulging that rant. Just stay safe out there when it comes to the whole NFT situation, okay? I'll read Ayush's comment, and then I'm going to grab Bishop from the chat, from the calls. I feel there is productivity to be provided here with NFTs. It depends on how it is done. Honestly, if there were TAETRO NFTs that work similar to YouTube memberships, I would buy to support. Here's the problem. But no, not the problem. I see what you're saying. We all want to be hopeful for new technology and a new future and just new mechanisms to support our favorite artists, right? But let me ask you if there's a utility in that. You said if there was a TAETRO NFT that worked like a YouTube membership. We have YouTube memberships. If you want to support your favorite artists, go buy their merch. Go pay attention to the thing they're asking you to pay attention to. Go support them in the ways that they already have available to support, right? Like, Ayush, you are a member here. You're supporting me already. And I'm going to have a drop coming soon that is not an NFT, but it's just like the same thing, but in the real world. Something you can collect, something that will have limited numbers. Something that's cool. You know, and it doesn't have to be an NFT. And if you all really want to support me, you can purchase that. If you want to support a small artist that you love, go support them. Go buy what they already have. The difference here with NFTs is the NFTs provide some type of flexing mechanism. You can add the ape as your profile picture. You add the piece to your wallet so you can flex that, you know? And that's fine if that's what you want to do. People buy sneakers for that reason. Fashion is all about that. And that's fine. Brand names, you know, they exist for a while. It's kind of how it works. This hoodie I'm wearing, that is Daisy's original design, right? It kind of has like similar trappings of what you would think an NFT is, right? It's got all the individual faces. Imagine, oh, let's mint all these different faces in an NFT. No. If you want to support a small artist, go buy the hoodie that they make. And flex that. Be cool that you're the only one in your friend group that knows about this artist and bought their hoodie. And then guess what? Just like an NFT, if that small artist blows up one day and you bought that original design that they posted on their random web shop, that hoodie's going to be worth something. Just like a Michael Jordan rookie card. So when NFTs and this stuff starts serving some utility beyond mechanisms that we already have, I'll start paying attention. But for now, most of the tech bros and NFT bros and etc. Cat piano pillow, says Bishop 91. That is a one of one. That's another great thing. And that's what I'm talking about. When they serve some other utility, something that we don't already have, I'll be interested. When I can build the virtual lo-fi loft in virtual reality in like a gaming space, and I can mint sort of like one of one items that you can all get in that virtual space, I'll do that. That's fun. It's like if you've ever played a video game, if you want to buy a skin for your character or something, okay. Now imagine that buying that skin, it's a one of one instead of everybody on the game being able to buy it or get it with points. I think that's a cool idea. I've spent lots of money on in-game stuff. Do we actually need NFTs for that? Can we just have digital scarcity? Like, we don't need NFTs for digital scarcity. If the makers of Fortnite tomorrow put out a gun and say that there's only one in the game and somebody gets it, then they get it. Doesn't have to buy it with an NFT. Maybe they unlock it in the game. Maybe they buy it with currency, actual currency, real money. Maybe there's a mechanism for them to buy and sell it. We have these mechanisms already. So anyway, all right. Somebody else has to talk because I got to drink water. So we're going to bring Brent Bishop on. Michael G. I don't care if you're in bed, half asleep, with your spouse next to you or the dog sleeping. You call into this show right now. No, just kidding. You don't have to if you don't want to. But I know you're in with the audience stuff and whatever, so it would be good to get your take. What's up, Market Way? Thanks everybody for joining in. We're having chats. If you want to scroll back and watch the rant, that'd be great. But we're also taking calls from the community. Link is at the top of the chat. If you want to call into tonight's show, you don't have to talk about all this crypto NFT stuff. If you don't want, you can also call in for creative advice. But nonetheless, we have our first guest calling into the show, Mr. Bishop. How's it going?
What's up, man? How you doing tonight?
It's great to hear your voice. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. I checked in, I think I was talking about streaming. Now I'm streaming. So
tell me how that's going. You doing music production streaming?
Yeah, I'm doing like hip hop sampling and stuff like that in my machine MK3, and trying to kind of do a similar TAETRO vibe, but like on a hip hop machine kind of thing. But sure. It's tough because growing pains of getting a stable frames, all the settings and stuff like that. But yep. My buddy Andrew Van Zark, who is also a community member, yes. He's been showing me a couple of settings and stuff. He streams like every day on Twitch. And
nice.
His computer's older than mine, so
I'm glad you guys are helping each other out. But you're doing like I was streaming for a little bit in like 2018, like working out the kinks back then. And then when I started streaming for real on this channel, like, I don't know, some of you are around for some of those early streams. It's like, it was just a mess. Like, I was streaming off one computer, like running Ableton and streaming off that computer. Like, there were so many kinks to work out with OBS. So like, all the growing pains you're going through right now, it's necessary. Like, you're not doing anything wrong. You just have to like go through this.
Yeah, that's what's been kind of like keeping me going. I'm like, this seems pretty normal. Like, I'm just going through what everybody else goes through when they start up a stream.
You 100% are, and you'll be better for it. Do you want to shout your channel URL real quick so people can check it out?
Yeah, I mean, if you look up Bishop 91, you'll find it on there. I can try to see if I don't know, or link. Can I post a link or something like that?
I think you can post a link because you're a mod, but you can try.
All right, I'll try it in a sec.
Twitch or YouTube?
YouTube right now. That's where my connection's most stable, it seems.
Sure. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, well, yeah. Because I tried on Twitch and it was like my frames were just not having a good time.
Got it. Interesting. It shouldn't make a difference, but hey, what do I know?
I know that, but you know.
Yeah, I definitely want to. If you want to chat more about like streaming stuff, that's cool. I'm down to. But I also would love to get your perspective on any of this stuff that we just talked about.
Oh, so yeah, good point. I did have something I wanted to talk about. I brought up that okay, so hear me out. I have this cat piano pillow that I won
Yes.
from the Beattober stream.
Let me just tell everybody. So for Beatober, we had some giveaways. We had some raffles, or no, we'll call them giveaways for legal reasons, I think. But my mom created a one-of-one cat piano, crochet cat piano, and Bishop won that. Now that is a one-of-one. My own mother created it. So that's the context here. But go on.
So and with that, you know, kind of comes a story there too. There's a
That's
year,
true.
so there's a date that this happened and went down, right? There's also the prospect that, TAETRO's mom doesn't sit here and make a bunch of this stuff for everybody in the chat.
That is also true.
So nobody else has this but me. Nobody but me and TAETRO has these things. So there's kind of like a bit
Value.
of a, yeah, exactly, there's literal actual value. So depending on who out there that means something to, you know what I mean, that there's value there created, actual physical value
Now,
for this thing that has a story.
the gambler, investor, speculator in me, not that there is one of those in me, says hold it for another 5 years until my platform grows even larger and larger and larger. And we've done Beattober 5 more years in a row. And each year there is a special my mom crochet item. And then you have the first one that was ever made. And there's been more hype built.
I'm waiting for the big, the big blow up, and then finally the
exactly
payoff. But so and to jump on that, like, I mean, have you ever seen something like Antiques Roadshow or
of
something
course.
like that?
Yeah.
Every time you see the big hitters that come in there, it's always something with an incredible story behind it. You know what I mean? And that kind of that sort of has a value in itself. For a guy like me, I'm not into this stuff. You're not going to convince me to buy into something because I could make money on it. Like I would buy in because I enjoy it. So there's nothing there that I enjoy where I'm like, this is my thing. I need to own this, or whatever. So, but if there's somebody that there's somebody that does want to buy something, if I could make money and I could do something like that, like my G was saying, I would do that. But my point is, I'm just like, there's no, there's no story there. There's no actual,
like
what is it I'm buying?
Right. And to push, just to show you that, flip the other side of the coin, a brand that I like a lot is called The Hundreds. And this guy named Bobby Hundreds, is the kind of leader of that. And I followed their brand for a long time. I read his book. They've got that atom bomb logo that maybe some of you might recognize. It's like a one of those bombs with those circle bombs with a fuse out of it, and it has a face on it. So if you see that, that's The Hundreds. But they are fervorish in the NFT space. So like if you're somebody who, and The Hundreds is more than like, it's not just a clothing brand. It's like there is what you're saying, like a whole story. So there are artists and there are brands that have that story, that have that culture baked in. So it makes sense to me that those people who follow that brand, who want to represent that brand in the digital space, might partake in NFTs in that way. That does make sense to me. But my caution to like smaller artists that are trying to, I gotta mint my NFT because it's gonna be huge. But like the big players in NFTs in this space right now are people with these already big established brands, So
well, and not to interrupt you,
go ahead.
But something I want to point out is a lot of this stuff is there is a lot of, whether it's built on or not, there is a lot of hype circulating. And
Absolutely.
There's a lot of young kids watching this stuff, thinking this is the way that I need to grow up to make money. I don't want to be like my boring old dad. Like I want this.
Like this is the new, this is the future, right?
what is it they say? They say like Lambo or McDonald's or something like that, or
Yeah.
there's some joke amongst some of the kids, and it's like a little alarming because it's like, man, like some of these kids are really like, putting actual money into some of this stuff, and I'm a little worried about like what that kind of leads to in the future and stuff too.
Yeah, well, I'm less worried about like I don't want to be the old man on the porch being like, you kids
Hmm.
and your internet, that kind of thing. Because they're obviously in every generation, like the new generation finds something new, finds a way to make their way in the world and evolves. And it's new and it's scary to the old generation. So that's always going to happen. Every generation is going to have that. What the worrisomeness is what you have is people like Mark Zuckerberg coming into power, young people that don't fully understand or maybe don't care about the implications of the things that they do, and then that being valued super high. So like Jeff Bezos, I just read a story today. This whole historic bridge has to be deconstructed so that his yacht can leave the port that it's in because the yacht is so big. So yeah, you guys should look that up. It's pretty like insane. Now he's paying for the deconstruction, or I guess the temporary deconstruction of the historic bridge, but nonetheless, it sounds pretty shitty. But the thing about it is, if Jeff Bezos is the richest person, and that is supposed to be, I mean, we live in a capitalist society, right? So that is the most aspirational person in our society, following the capitalist mindset. If that's what we're striving to be, there's something wrong. And it's a lot about like what you said. So I want people to not chase quick money, to not chase huge funds, to not chase, to build something for themselves, to be able to live independently, have meaning in their lives, have financial freedom, but not in the way that makes it so your yacht is so big you have to dismantle a historic bridge, and you basically have to dismantle a culture to move your wealth around. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing I don't want people idolizing. I just want us to slow down a minute and realize that like there's bigger implications the further you go down this road.
Yeah, and another thing is like a lot of these people buying these things and kind of setting the trends are like celebrities that have, it's just play money, like
Right. That is
couple
another
hundred
good point.
couple $100,000. That's like a drop in the hat. Like it don't, that ain't nothing to them. And Jimmy Fallon buys it and Eminem buys it, the Bored Ape and stuff like that. Like they don't care. That's nothing to them. And then
Right.
I don't need to get into that. I can't afford that, man.
Right. But if your hero is Eminem and then you look at that and you're like, dang, I need to get that to be like Eminem, or I want to be like Eminem. I think people are not following that line of thinking, which is exactly what you said. These people are playing with money that when that money is gone, it doesn't mean a thing to them. So if they take the risk to spend a couple $100,000 or even over $1 million on an NFT, if that NFT goes to zero tomorrow, they'll be fine.
Right. This is like Pokemon cards for those guys.
Exactly.
You know what I
and
mean?
not the Charizard. Like this
yeah.
is like buying the most common Pokemon card for these guys.
Yeah. Like I don't need this Staryu, man. Like I could burn the Staryu right up. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, all important things. We got to take a second look at that. I want to get to some of the other calls, but it was good to chat with you. If you can, since you are a mod now, feel free to just spam your Twitch in there if you want.
Right on, man. Thank you.
Sorry, you're YouTube. You're streaming on YouTube. I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah, appreciate you taking my call, brother.
Of course. Good talking to you.
All righty. I'll see you later.
See you later. All right, I'm going to bring in Nascent next. Michael G from the chat, because I bullied him into calling in. So I apologize for that. Beisha is in the chat. Hi, Beisha. Beisha, it's past your bedtime. What's happening? What's up? Michael, how are you?
How you doing?
Michael, I didn't mean to bully you on stream, but I'm very glad that you called in because I think you can share some good perspective on the topic.
This is a great topic, a great conversation. And I don't think enough people are having it.
Yeah.
there isn't a lot of adoption around Web3. Villainy like hit piece definitely are around.
Yeah. And I know you were mentioning some like stuff that you're involved in with NFT, so I definitely would love to hear about that. But like, let's just dive right in. Like, go ahead, tell me what's your experience. I know you're fervent on like being on Audius. Like, you seem to be like very clued into the Web3, the NFT, the blockchain space. So just like give me your like pitch, your thinking, like what's got you so interested in it.
So, I mean, I'm a starting, not even say a baby artist. Like I have never been out in this space, like past 6 years ago.
Sure.
Now I've been reading articles and tech articles because I'm in IT, and I heard about Audius being scooped up and funded by people like Deadmau5, RAC, and a couple other artists.
Right.
And you know, they put their faith into this new platform to try and challenge not just SoundCloud, because SoundCloud is how you get seen. Spotify theoretically is how you get paid. They want to challenge and take down Spotify.
Sure.
The main guy, he made what, $3 billion last year, and he has never played a note in his life.
Yeah, and he's also got like these crazy he funds these like military projects, or like at least has a stake in some like military tech company as well. Just overall bad people running a lot of these companies, but that is a factor of late stage capitalism. So on that, I'll say the prospect of some of what Web3 is hopefully going to offer one day is great. And the prospect of taking down some of these giants that are not operating super ethically is great. So I could see why it's appealing.
It appealed to me. And I was already part of another community, producer community, trying to learn called Metapop.
Yep, I've heard of that.
And I decided that I was going to take the leap, open up an account on Audius, start putting my stuff out there, become involved, because Audius's community were very inclusive. They were very helpful in teaching me how to produce.
Sure.
Same with yours.
Right. There's a community around it, and that seems to be, that's the most powerful thing, right?
Right. Absolutely. So like fast forward 2 years later, they activated mainnet. I have no idea what that means, but they brought it out of, theoretically they brought it out of beta, and then they dropped 25,000 Audius onto me. And at the time it was worth 30 cents. I was like, oh my God, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
For all the work. I mean, I make, around 70 or 80 in IT. So this amount of money that they've given me at the time was worth about what, $7,000 or something? No, not 7,000. Sorry, it was worth like $3,000. I was like, well, this is nice, guys. I mean, I can't live on this, but okay.
So the Audius, so the whole thing is like Audius is going to be a coin. Audius is going to be like a currency, a crypto.
Yeah, it's going to be payment.
Got it.
For the artists. But the thing is, though, the way that they calculated how to give that out, you had to have an account, you had to have X number of tracks, you had to have X number of likes on those tracks, and then somehow that equaled 25K for me. So
I'm figuring that this is probably like a founder's like situation. It's not like this is an ongoing thing. This is like, okay, all these artists who are already here and on the platform, this is what we're doing when we launch like mainnet or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you're saying 25K, what do you mean 25K? $25,000 worth of their coin?
Well, I mean, if I had waited until the coin was worth $1, then yes, it would have been $25,000. But here's the thing though, for almost a full year, like I've been holding on to this stuff. It never went up above $1.
Right.
I was so super excited when it went up to 75 cents. I was like, oh God, I can pay some bills with this.
Sure.
I can get some plugins with this.
It's quite speculative. So what is it at now?
It's about at $1 now, but during the bull run earlier this year, it was up to $2.
Wow. And you've
Yeah.
held on to it?
No, I have not.
Oh, so you've sold
when it
some.
went up to 70 cents, I cashed out almost all of it.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And I was like so excited. I could pay bills. I can have Omnisphere finally.
Right. So now do you continue to earn the currency?
No.
So
No one has.
No one has.
No one has.
So it's just doled out at launch essentially to all the artists. And then isn't the model that you will earn the currency as your tracks gain plays and likes and stuff?
That's the monetization piece that they haven't activated. They're still
Got it.
trying to figure out how to monetize real artists without feeding into piracy.
Right. Because their whole problem now is that it's decentralized. People are uploading, copywritten tracks and they can't take it down because of the decentralization aspect.
Correct.
Which is a red flag, big problem. Hopefully they can figure that out.
But the current model that you can earn audience now is by joining these remix contests, being number one for the week, having a track that's number one for a week or top 5, having a top 10 playlist, like you're in the top 10 of your playlist is popular and you're like top 10.
Right? So like they award bonuses for these things essentially.
Right.
So like here's my thing about Audius.
I call it fighting for crumbs.
Fighting for crumbs. Yeah.
We're fighting for the crumbs.
Like here's my thing. We just talked about hit piece, right? And with hit piece, there's like clear to me, like malice. Like maybe that's too strong of a word, but there's just like very clear ethical bad implications with hit piece. When with Audius, and from what you just told me and from what I've seen on the platform itself, this seems like well-intentioned and like not so shady. Like it seems like they want to do right and their outright purpose is to indeed help artists and develop something cool, other than that like glaring like red flag of like, oh God, what happens when somebody uploads copywritten content and we can't take it down? But like that seems more of like a problem of the function, not like an intended thing of like, let's steal somebody's copyrighted music, So like that this is a cool thing to talk about because I think it's a example of what seems to be a very well-intentioned platform with probably well-intentioned funders.
Yeah, there's no NFTs, no non-fungible tokens involved with Audius at this time.
Right. It seems like they want to develop the currency, and if that currency becomes worth a lot, and then Audius does become the Spotify of this world, then artists stand to make a fair amount of money, and it seems to be like it would be a more equitable distribution of that money, being that it is on their own coin, I guess. I don't know. I feel very undereducated talking about it, but it seems...
I want to talk about the pixel bands though,
because
I did make a lot of money there.
So tell me, what is pixel bands?
Well, let me
give me
a link for you.
Give me the third. Yeah, you can send me a link, but also give me like the third grade version of what's going on here.
Okay, so I was approached by Wookie to basically jump on this project.
You figure out what they want. At Wookie.
Wookie, Wuki.
Okay.
He does remixes on TikTok.
Got it. Okay, so Wookie is a person.
The Enya remix that everyone hears.
Got it.
So he approached me and other artists in Wobblebugs, which is another NFT project of his, said, "Hey, we need some musicians. We want you to produce some samples to build into this NFT."
Okay.
And I was like, "Sure, I'm in. What could it hurt? They're not asking me to pay for anything. They're asking me to produce samples
for
this thing." And I do. I produce a synthesizer sample. I produce a beat, and I produce what was it? Synth, guitar, and a beat for
Got it.
this thing. And they wanted that and a bass line, but I'm not really good at bass lines.
So you produced a bunch of music for this NFT.
Yeah, but it was 16 bars. They were looking. They gave very strict parameters: 16 bars, C major 7, go. BPM 76 BPM or 75 BPM.
Got it. And is the idea of the NFT that whoever owns the NFT has access to the samples, or is the NFT like a performative piece?
The NFT is a bunch of random digital art and a bunch of random samples. So you have like the guitarist, and you have guitar samples that are attached directly to the guitarist. Everything is randomly generated.
Got it. So interactive multimedia piece, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And yeah, here, let me pull this up real quick.
Yeah, if you link it to me, like in this Zoom chat, I can probably show it on screen or whatever you're linking. So this is an exciting, to me, another exciting thing in the world of NFTs, because that's really cool that you could sell a digital piece like this. Because otherwise, like, selling it as an NFT is good because the artist can get paid. Otherwise, it just lives on a website that everybody can consume it for free. But if somebody wants to be the owner of this on the blockchain, they can. And that sounds cool. All right, I'm going to show this on stream. Pixel bands. Now, pixel bands, got it. The guitarist is the guitar player. So each little NFT has a sound associated with it. Sol. So this is Solana. Is that the name of the currency?
Yep. It's built on a Solana contract.
Nice. So Solana, another one of those for those listening, like a Bitcoin, like an Ethereum, but this is another currency called Solana.
Yep. And here, I got something for you. Go ahead and click on that one.
Right. I got you.
This random art was attached with my sample. And if you click the sample along with the little, the volume,
I can
it'll play for you.
All right, let's listen to this. This is the drummer guy, the green drummer dude that I clicked on. Let's hear it. Oh. Dope. Current price is 2.75 Solana. How much is Solana worth?
Solana was $90 per coin. So that's about...
Not bad.
Yeah, 300. Now, here's the thing. Now, let's say someone was crazy enough to buy this thing for $300.
Sure.
2.75 Solana. I get 50% of that.
That's great. Now, did you negotiate that with Pixel Bands,
No.
or was that kind of...
No.
Tell me how it works.
That's just the terms. They said you could be involved in this project. This is how much. Okay. This is the percentage of royalties you're going to get. And like it or not.
Well, I would say 50% are not bad terms.
Can't get that with Spotify.
Can't get that with Spotify. Exactly. Yeah. So that's my point. Like, that's good. So you were presented with those terms before opting into this, of course.
Yeah.
Now, does this function the same way? Whereas, say somebody buys this and then they resell it, are there royalties?
Same terms. I get 50% of it, 50% of the sale.
When they resell it.
Forever.
So this is why this is interesting and cool, chat, because I probably didn't mention this before on the stream, but so a lot of the function with these NFTs for everybody who's listening is that there are usually contracts so that the artist not only gets paid on the initial sale, but that the artist will get paid for a percentage of all future resells. So say this sells for 2.75, Michael gets 50% of that. Say it sells later for 10 Solana, Michael gets 50% of that. And then so on and so forth as it continues to sell. So like that is cool. And that seems like a cool economy to create. And that's not something that I feel we have functionality for yet. What only worries me is about like the volatility. Like, I don't know how stable is Solana, or have you noticed in your
See, now
experience?
that Solana's been pretty stable, but they dropped along with everyone else and the economy. The
Right, there was
economy
just a big
just took a
Solana
dump.
drop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me actually Google it and we can look at it. Oh, it doesn't show up like a.
Yeah, it was 200. It was 200 last month, but it's definitely not that now.
Right. Oh, it was 200.
Yeah.
And now it's down to, it's at like 100 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell it went up today because my I had like $30 sitting my Solana account, and it's 0.38 Solana, and now it's up to $41. So not much. It'll come back eventually.
So I'm just showing chat the kind of volatility, not volatility. I'm just showing the maybe I'll look at 1 month, the 1 month history, and that's kind of depressing to look at, to see that big dip. But we can see that in November, Solana was at 245 per coin. It's at 102.49, or it's at 107. But you can see, chat, like, let me just zoom out even more and just see how this went. So did it come out like a year ago? It's a new coin, right?
Mm-hmm. Brand new. I
Of
made
2021.
Yeah. Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
2 months ago I made it, and then just kind of walked away from the project.
And that's kind of, it is like a stock in that way, right? Where you kind of have to invest in it and then forget about it if you want to see if you want to hope for any real returns.
Yeah.
But
my only effort was 16 bars of a specific type.
And for you as a person who makes music and loves making music, to opt into a contract where you could potentially get 50% of not only an initial sale, but all future sales, it is speculative. It is crypto, so it has that volatility to it. But like at the end of the day, what did you really lose? If you make $0 from this, you made a 16 bar loop. You know what I mean? Not to say that doesn't take effort or isn't worth anything, but like you're taking a little bit of a chance, and it's a heck of a lot. I think there's way more potential for you to make money off of this than there is if you uploaded a track to Spotify, a full track to Spotify.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, I'm just looking at it from a year. So chat, this is the Solana history. It seems like Solana's probably only been around not that long. But a year ago, it was at $5. So to give you some perspective, if you invested in Solana 1 year ago and it was at $5, and even today, even though that it's dipped quite a bit since its last peak, it's at $100. So that's a good investment there, obviously. And the only thing I'll say is like we have the stock market in the US, right? That like will always go up X amount of percent if you just leave stuff in. Historically, like it's pretty much set to always go up X amount of percent. You'll see dips and stuff, but over a long enough time span, it's going to go up. With these coins, it's just a little bit more volatile, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yeah, it fluctuates. It's based on fear.
Right. So like Solana could drop and never come back, or it could potentially spike to higher than it's ever been.
Yeah. So, I mean, yes, there are projects that are less fortuitous for artists, but Web3 is definitely around or centered around the artist making their money. It's Web2 has completely. Let me put it this way. I view Spotify and Spotify's leadership as the completion of Web2 villainy.
Got it.
They've got all the artists to agree to these terrible terms. Now Web3 is trying to put the value back into the artist, trying to say, hey, this is our stuff. You can't exist without us, and cut out the middleman.
Right. And that's what ultimately needs to happen for this to be successful. The reason Spotify can be successful and offer such terrible terms is because Spotify it's not exactly like this, but if you want to get electricity in your apartment, you have to go through the state's electricity, provider.
Mm-hmm.
Like Spotify and the music industry, in a lot of ways, there are only so many providers, like a cable provider, like an internet provider, Spotify, Apple Music, etc. And as artists, if we want to be in the utility that everybody has. You know, if we want to be on the Spotify, like everybody has Spotify, so you got to be on Spotify. Everybody has Apple Music, you got to be there. We have to just agree to whatever terms they offer us. So if Web3 in some platforms, whether it's Audius, whether it's something else, can offer these great terms, but then also become one of these utilities, something that everybody has, something that everybody needs or wants, then this can work out really well for artists. But what I don't see yet is how does it become that? How does it become that thing that everybody needs and wants to use? You know what I mean? On Audius, I see it. Audius, I see it. It's like if everybody started using Audius, obviously it's a no-brainer. Audius becomes the new Spotify, great value. But like, how does something like Pixel Bands?
We're up to 6 million. Our Audius is up to 6 million concurrent views.
Right, and that's pretty impressive.
And that's last month. So I mean, Audius is a freight train. It's coming. It had to come.
But I just hope that they can overcome that copyright thing, because I'm worried that they get DMCA'd into oblivion, similar to how Hit Piece did, even though they don't have such a seemingly malevolent intent.
Yeah, Hit Piece deserves to go down.
Absolutely. Like we are all in agreement about that.
That's gross. That's just gross.
Yeah. I really appreciate you calling in and sharing all that, Michael G, because I can get pretty down on this whole space, on this whole thing, but you just explained some of this in a way that seems pretty optimistic, seems pretty non-scammy, and seems like you're like having fun, but also financially benefiting from it as well. Mm-hmm. So I really appreciate you like walking me through all that and sharing your experience, showing off Pixel Bands and all that. That's really cool.
Like I said, Pixel Bands Gen 2, we're running at 128 BPM, F minor, and they're looking for artists.
That's super cool. I'll think about it. But community also think about it, you know? That's great. Thank you so much. Wait, can I ask, there's a Pixel Band person that's worth 39 Sol. What's up with that?
I don't know.
Number
let me take a look. I gotta mute you.
Go ahead.
Okay, live. There we go. Oh,
so this would essentially be worth close to $4,000.
You know, the people that sell these, they're the ones that determine how much Sol they want to sell it for. Sometimes they just put an impossible price.
Got it.
Get people to stop asking.
Oh, I hear that.
It is a rare background though.
A rare background. Interesting.
Yeah, with the palm trees. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, I think it's super cool and interesting. I'm gonna keep following the space. Any particular reason I should like Solana more than Ethereum? Are there better environmental implications?
Ethereum is going to basically break its own neck under its own weight because of GWEI, GWEI. That's the gas fees. Mm-hmm. Back when Ethereum was $11 per coin, 40 cents per transaction wasn't really that bad, and everyone was cheering like, "Wow, it's working! Everyone's getting paid! Yay!"
Yep.
Now everyone's like, "Oh God, make it stop," because it doesn't scale.
Right. So now essentially it costs too much to even mint or whatever, and like the gas cost is like an additional cost, right?
Right. To use the network. Now, Solana is built to be fast and also cheaper fees.
Got it.
So it's a no-brainer to use it. And Solana and Ethereum are different from Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just currency. Mm-hmm. That's like, think of that as like layer one. It's just currency. Layer two, coins like that are contracts, smart contracts.
Got it. So that whole thing you're talking about where you make 50% in perpetuity, that is specific to these types of coins.
Built right into the non-fungible token.
Got it. Heard. And that's why these specific currencies are used to trade NFTs and not like a Bitcoin or something like that.
Yep. Shiba Inu was originally just a currency, but it was a joke.
Right.
Now they're trying to add utility to it by adding an extra layer.
Got it.
That way, these NFTs could be super, super, super cheap, and people will stop complaining about NFT bros. The NFT space is just a tax haven for people.
Right. Like, and that's what art has traditionally always been, that, right? Like, you buy a super expensive piece of art, like it's just like sheltering, money laundering, all that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
But I'm glad you said NFT bros, because if more people more people like you, Michael G, were talking about this stuff, and in the way that you talked about it, in the way that you just like calmly describe it, and you didn't try to tell me that this was like this amazing visionary future, and didn't make me feel like I was like just not understanding, like you just like explained it in very accessible terms. If more people just talked like you talk, Michael G, I think more people would be down to explore this space.
Mm-hmm.
For the right reasons, not for the like get rich quick, like oh, I want to be a visionary, I want to be a pioneer reasons.
Yeah, but I've had my share of people jump on Twitter space and tell me that they're, they think that I'm the devil because I'm utilizing too much energy.
Right. Yeah.
They don't know that fusion is a thing that's coming. It exists. We're going to get unlimited energy either way because we have to.
Right. Well, either that or extinction, but who can
either
say?
We die.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate that call. That was really cool, and I think everybody else enjoyed it. It was very informative, and it's cool to hear about. I'm gonna learn more about pixel bands.
All right, get off my phone.
All right, go to sleep now. Thank you so much for calling in.
All right, have a good one, man.
You too. That was great. Great call. What a dope call, right? Oh, Joseph McCaffrey in chat. Joseph McCaffrey leaves for Korea in 9 days. Please spam the Joseph emotes in chat and wish him well. No mustache, no mullet. He's up too late. He also texted me. What did you text me live? This has been a fun TAETRO Talks. I want to remind everybody that we are doing this in conjunction with 343 Labs. Please go join the 343 Labs Discord, because you can join our sample challenge that's happening next week. I'm going to be joined by John Selway. We give away a cool prize. I'm not sure what the prize is this time, but please participate in the 343 sample challenge. Totally free to join that Discord. You can, of course, join the channel and be a part of my Discord if you want, which costs money, so you can become a member. But the 343 Labs one is free. Participate. We'll review your music live on stream next week. All that stuff. All right, I'm not going to share that photo that Joseph sent me earlier, but All right, I got to approve these messages, even though they're not spam. When TAETRO opens a branch in Korea, I'll be back on the payroll. Who knows? Could happen sooner than later. There could be multiple motivating factors for going to Korea. Who can say? Levi Meows, hello, haven't seen you in a while. So this chat started as a pretty down conversation about crypto in general. Obviously, hit piece is terrible. Don't forget that. However, thank you to Michael G for that final call and just educating us a little bit more about crypto and sharing a couple positive ways it has benefited him as an artist. And he took that time to call in from bed. So I appreciate that. It was very, very high value in that conversation. So thank you all. We can chill here for a bit. If I hit play, do I get music? Yes. What else is going on? I'm gonna spam that 343 Discord for you in chat, even though some of you are not if some of you are not in it already. Let me find that. Wait, is it already in my clipboard? No, but the TAETRO community playlist is. Go follow that playlist. Community members have not all, a lot of community members have submitted music, and we have a nice little lo-fi chill playlist made up from members of the community. So add that to your Spotify list as we continue to talk about how shitty Spotify is. Join that Discord that I just spammed in the chat as well. And I'll say, my thing is, I am obviously not a fan of the choices that Spotify is making. I wish more artists that I love, like more bigger artists that had leverage, would take a stronger stance. However, if you look at yourself as a small artist and you say, I'm going to take my music off Spotify because I feel this way, you're only shooting yourself in the foot, and it's not going to help you. If you as a consumer want to not pay for Spotify anymore, that's fine. But as artists, it's not going to benefit you to take your music off Spotify as a small artist. Neil Young and Joni Mitchell, that helps a little bit, but wouldn't it be great if wouldn't it be great if Lil Nas X, Taylor Swift, the 1975, Ariana Grande, any of these giant artists came out and said, we're taking our music off Spotify? That would make a difference. You being a small artist, you're just going to shoot yourself in the foot if you do it. But I appreciate you. But yeah, yep, that's where we're at. But in reality, it's like you jump from one terrible corporation to another terrible corporation. So who can say? I might be living under a rock, but what happened with Spotify? Well, essentially what happens is Spotify hosts Joe Rogan's podcast. They have an exclusive deal with the Joe Rogan Experience. And unfortunately, Joe Rogan has gone down the route of interviewing people that just many people that just share fake, unverified, unpeer-reviewed medical information on the show, many times having to do with the pandemic and the vaccine. He has been an avid vaccine, pushing people away from getting the vaccine, even saying that young people, if you're healthy and you exercise, that you shouldn't even get it, which is dog shit. Fake news, not based on science. So they're platforming him, of course, by having his podcast on Spotify and having that big deal. So a bunch of doctors came out and signed this letter that said you got to do something. Like, he has to stop sharing this stupid information. It's dangerous to people because, of course, other people see him unfortunately, see him in his podcast, and I guess he has on, as kind of good sources. Of course, like if a big platform like Spotify pays hundreds of millions of dollars to have him, he must be some kind of established source, right? But unfortunately not. It's just all about popularity and because he has lots of listeners. And on some level, I've listened to Joe Rogan's podcast if he had somebody on talking about like UFOs or something, because that's just fun to listen to. And it's fun to listen to conspiracies about aliens and stuff. But what's not fun is when that conspiracy space and the Alex Joneses of the world took the whole like UFOs conspiracy thing and then slowly morphed it into the government is putting microchips into the vaccine. Like, that's the problem. So people are trying to take a stand against Spotify and say, you don't do something about this. Because essentially what's happening is we all know that artists don't get paid well from streaming services. However, Spotify pays Joe Rogan hundreds of millions of dollars because that makes more business sense for them than to pay the artists, you know? So is he not a comedian? Well, that's the problem, right? He's an entertainer. He's a comedian that slowly morphed into having the biggest podcast. And in that started getting some, like, people started listening to him as an authority on certain topics. So that is the problem. And we're facing that in our space all across the space. People are becoming quote unquote authorities based on their popularity, not on their credentials. So that's the whole Spotify thing. And if you guys want to know more about the Bezos bridge thing that I was talking about earlier, Jeff Bezos's bridge, Jeff Bezos's yacht is so big that it cannot leave its port in Rotterdam So what they have to do is dismantle an entire historic bridge so that the yacht can leave. Now, I don't want to sensationalize this. It does say briefly dismantled, and Bezos is also paying for it. However, when we have reached such a stage of late stage capitalism where the rich people are so rich that they are building yachts so large that important parts of a city's culture have to be deconstructed so that said yacht can leave its port. Don't you think it's a red flag? Don't you think it's a red flag? Don't you think it's a red flag that we've never lived in a time where individuals could afford to literally go to space? And all of a sudden that's possible? Not governments being like, not governments like coming together and funding these big scientific expeditions. Instead, now it's individuals have that much wealth and power. Don't you think that probably means something is not quite right? When a person can afford to go to space, at the same time, a person cannot afford a house, a home, a shelter, or basic necessities. Just curious if anybody might call that a red flag. It is, by the way. It is a red flag. Thank you, Mr. G. Smith, for resubbing for 12 months. Thank you so much. Next month, you will get the new badge, which is the one that Joseph had, the moon colorway. Exactly. Joseph trolling in chat. People aren't going to get it. Thank you for the 1 year. Yes. Can we get a round of applause for Mr. G. Smith's 1 year? Appreciate you. Thank you. Peace and love. Red flag alert. Thank you for the 10 months, Levi Meows. Appreciate it. Glad you could make it to the stream tonight. Folks, please check out 343labs.com. I'm getting tired. My stomach has been bothering me at this time of night. I don't know why. My diet has not been good lately. But whatever. Appreciate you all. Go back and watch the stream from the beginning if you wish. And that's going to be it. Steak night was earlier this week, of course. Ayush, thank you for the 10 months. I appreciate it. Thank you. If you are a member and you're in the Discord, please go ahead and submit on the Spotify playlist channel. You can submit a track and be in the playlist. It's a lo-fi chill playlist though, so don't go, make sure it fits. Look at the playlist and listen to the playlist first before you submit a track. Looking at quality, looking at if it fits the playlist. If it doesn't fit the quality yet, don't take it offensively if I don't add your track to the playlist. Just keep working, keep getting better at production. Appreciate you all. You all are fantastic. I will see you all on the next stream. We are not streaming this weekend, but we will have a track review stream next weekend. So stay tuned for that. Oh gosh, I have to verify that that's actually true. If that works. Anyway, stay tuned. Track review stream coming soon. I'll tell you all when to post Discord. Okay, that's going to be it. Drop a like on your way out or you're dead. That's what Just McCaffrey says. Wow, it's like the old days. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been TAETRO for 343 Labs. 343labs.com. Join us with the sample challenge next week. Have a good one.